Okay, welcome to the video. We're going to move quickly because there's obviously a lot to cover, 4 whole pages. So the first section, we need to determine if a variable is a solution to the equation. So our answer will either be yes or no. So our first one, we're going to use substitution. So I'm going to rewrite this as 6 times 8, because I'll replace x with 8, minus 2 equals 46. 6 times 8 is 48. 48 minus 2, it is 46. So you can see both sides are balanced. Therefore, it is a solution to the equation. Problem number 2, I'm going to substitute m for 2.9. And so I'm going to go 2.9 plus 2.5. Line up your decimals. Carry your decimal down. I'll carry a 10. 9 plus 5 is 14. That's why I carried that 10. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So you can see 5.4, does that equal 5.2? Clearly the answer is no, it is not a solution to the equation. Okay, the next part is where we solve the equation. So we're going to circle the sign and do the inverse operation. We've made a 0 pair here. 15 minus 15 is 0. What we do to one side, we do to the other. So k equals 9 minus 5 is 4. 5 minus 1 is 4. K equals 44. Now remember, we can check our work by substituting for k, 44 for k. So 44 plus 15, does that equal 59? And the answer is yes. So here's our answer. Our second problem, we do the inverse. So we add 2.75. What we do to one side, we do to the other. I'm going to add a 0 place marker. So we have 5. 7 plus 3 is 10. Carry down a 0, carry a 1. And 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. So our answer is y equals 7.05. Our next one is multiplication, so we need to divide. And remember, this isn't a 0 pair, this is a 1 pair. Equals 1, that's why we can cross it off. So when we divide, we have 150 divided by 7.5. You got to move your decimal over, so I'll have to move a decimal here, or in other words, I'll have to add a 0. And to save time, I know the answer is 20. So the answer is x equals 20. You can plug that back in, and you'll get that answer. Our next one, we have division. So here we're going to times 9. We do the opposite, so that makes a 1 pair. What we do to one side, we do to the other. So 78 times 9. 8 times 9 is 72. 9 times 7 is 63. Plus 7 is 70. So our answer is 702. Our next section is we're translating sentences into equations. It says 128 less than, I know that's a flipper, so a number. So when I do it, I go n minus 128 is 452. Okay, number 8, the product of 4/5 and a number is 11. I know product is multiplication, so 4/5 of a number equals 11. Done with the first page, on to the second page. It says, now we're doing equations from story problems. Which of the following represents x divided by, that's plus, x plus 24 equals 73. The first one is, generally is buying chickens to give away for Christmas. There are 73 people. I can already stop there. Give away is subtraction. You know that's not going to work. Number 2, Walker trying to decide what parts of his truck he should fix first. He has 73 areas that need to be fixed and $24 to spend. Nope, that's not it either. Stockton and Hunter bought 73 cheeseburgers together. Okay, that gives me a total. Hunter bought 24. How many cheeseburgers did Stockton buy? Okay, so I know it's 24 plus x. So yep, this is the answer. But because it's check marks, there can always be more than one. Haley's pitching at a community softball. Out of 73 pitches, there's our total. Haley pitches 24 strikes. How many balls did she pitch? So I know I have my strikes, and then I add the balls that were pitched, and that will give me the total of 73. So I know that it will look like that. So this fourth one works as well. Here we're just going to write the equation. We're not going to solve it. Levi's saving his money to buy a new computer. The computer costs $250. He already has $120 saved. Write an equation to determine how much money Levi still needs to buy his computer. Anytime we're talking about saving up money, I know it's going to be addition. So we make our 3 lines, if that helps. I know the total cost is $250. I know I have $120 and I need more. So that's the equation. The 6th grade boys want to buy all the 6th grade girls flowers for Valentine's Day. Each flower, I can already see that. It's either going to tell me multiply or divide. Tends to be multiply. Costs $1.25. If they spend a total of $87.50, write an equation for how many flowers they bought. So if we make our 3 lines, I know my total is $87.50. And because it's talking about each flower, it means I need to buy more and more. So I'm going to multiply. So $1.25 times X equals $87.50. Marcania and her 3 friends, this is kind of a trick because I know 3, it's Marcania and 3, which is actually 4. Decide to split, anytime I see split, divide their Christmas chocolates equally. If they each got 48 chocolates, write an equation that shows how many chocolates they started with. Wow, that's a lot of chocolates. So I know they're taking the chocolates, I'll call it X, they're dividing them up amongst 4 people, and they each get 48. Now, you could have also done this. It's not as correct in following the story, but it still would be okay. Okay, that adjusted. Number 13, Jared can play Madden games play 3.25 Madden games in 1 hour on his Xbox. So I want you to visualize this. Every hour he plays 3.25 games, which means that 2 hours he plays more, and 3 hours, and so forth. How many hours did it take him to play 26 games? So my equation, I know my total is 26. And because we're talking 3.25 for each hour, even though it doesn't say that, I know that's what it means. I know that's going to be multiplication. So my equation is 3.25. We'll call it X. It doesn't look very good. I'm going to rewrite it. 3.25x equals 26. Okay, now if we're going to find a solution, we would need to divide by 3.25. Divide by 3.25, and we would find out the solution is it would take him 8 hours to play that many games. Halfway done, and Angelique had some money in her bank account. She got paid $98.25. She had $450.75 in her bank after she got paid. So I know they gave me a total, $450.77. I know she started with a certain amount. We need to write an equation to show how much Angelique had in her account before she got paid. So I know she started with something. I'll just use S. And then she got paid, which is addition. Anytime you get paid, it's addition. $98.25. Now what we need to do is we need to figure how much did she start with. So I'm going to rewrite my equation. Okay, so I do the inverse operation. What I do to one side, I do to the other side. I subtract, which is going to, after I do some exchanging, 3, and that's a 14. It doesn't look good, minus 5. That means she had $358.52 in her bank account before she got paid. Maya is making slime to sell at a birthday party. She can fit 7 slime containers in each plastic bag. This should say makes 9 bags. How many slime containers does she have at the party? So this one is a division one because you're taking the slime and you are dividing it in 7 containers, and each container has 9 bags. So to find my answer, I do the inverse, which is a multiply by 7. 7 times 9, it took 63 containers. Now the truth is, we could have came up here and done either way. S divided by 9 equals 7. Here we got the same answer. Okay, number 16, we're writing equations. 5-step method. Find 2 that are in order. 2 x values that are in order. 8 and 9. Here we say, what's the difference between 18 and 20, which is plus 2. So I come down here and I put y equals 2x. Then I'm going to use substitution. We'll use 6. So I'll substitute 6 for x. And my answer needs to be 14, or the y. So 2 times 6 is 12. So then I have to ask myself, how do I go from 12 to 14? And it is plus 2. So there's my equation. Where's the missing number? 2 times 13 is 26, plus 2 is 28. Number 17, this one doesn't have any x values in order. I just have to say, how did I go from 12 to 3, 16 to 14, 20 to 5? You can see I'm dividing by 4. So my equation is y equals x divided by 4. My answer, 52 divided by 4 is 14. No? 13. Sorry. Okay, the number 18. We find 2 that are in order, 1 and 2. We say, what's the difference between 5 and 2, which is a plus 3. So our equation starts with y equals 3x. Then I substitute 1. My answer needs to be 2. 3 times 1 is 3. How do I get from 3 to 2? I minus 1. So there's our equation. Then it asks us to graph it. So I go over 1, up 2. Over 2, up 5. Remember, our lines need to be a straight line. Over 3, up 8. And lastly, over 4, it won't even let me do it. And it's a straight line. Okay, now on to the last page. Charlotte has a side job making cakes. She earns $23 for each cake she makes. The amount of cakes she makes determines how much money she will earn. So we have C for the cakes, M is for the money. So we always ask ourselves, the independent comes first. The dependent comes at the end, because the dependent depends on the first. So which one depends on the other? Well, the money depends on how many cakes she sells. The more cakes she sells, it equals more money. The less cakes, less money. Now it asks us for an equation. So I know it's $23 for each cake. It's multiplication. And I know it equals M, or the total. And the last part says, how much money will she earn if she makes 18 cakes? I go 23. I substitute 18 for C. So I just go 23 times 18. And my answer is 0, 12. 10, 11. That doesn't seem right. Did I do something wrong here? Sorry, I'm just going to check. Doesn't seem right. 2, 16, 18. So far, I'm good. 3. Oh, there. Put 9 instead of 2. I say that didn't look right. Okay, $414. That's what you got to think at the end. That whole $1,104, it just didn't feel right. A group of climbers are looking for new climbing shoes. The number of athletes determines the total cost on climbing shoes. Use the graph to answer the question. Okay, so which one is independent? So I have A is the number of athletes, or C is the total cost. Well, just like the cakes, the total cost will always be dependent. And so the athletes are going to be independent, because the more athletes there are, then the more total cost goes up. So what's our equation here? This one's kind of tricky, because you can see we have to look at the graph. So I know one athlete, it's right in the middle of 0 and 200, so it's 100. 2 athletes is 200. In other words, it's $100 per athlete. fact, I might as well complete this table here. One athlete's $100, two athlete is $200, and three athlete is $300, and four is $400. So if I know it's $100 each per athlete, I take 100, I times it by the athletes. So if there's 5 athletes, I would go 100 times 5, which is going to give me a total number, and in that case it would be 100 times 5 is 500. Well, hopefully that was enough. I know it was quick, wasn't in a lot of detail, but hopefully it just prepared you mentally to succeed tomorrow. We'll see ya bright and early in the morning.